No one's mentioned the almanac yet. This Jacksonville Jaguars team preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy and Sleeper, but now you can win cold hard cash with their over/under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to IPVanish.com/SGP. That's IPVanish.com/SGP. And make sure to join our new Discord server, the perfect place to interact and sweat bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord.
This is Nate Collins. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Sean, just give me some music. Just give me that. Pump it into my veins.
Oh, let's go. National Football League. We decided to do it. Couldn't be outdone by the folks over at the College Football Experience. That's right. We are about to unload 32 NFL gambling team previews. Talk a little win totals. Talk maybe a future bet or two that we like that's jumping off the page. Don't worry. We'll still be doing the division previews. We'll just be talking about the teams more and giving you more bets. And of course, if you're betting, you got to bet with the best. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET, WYNNBET. Get that sweet offer where a $50 bet $50, you win $200 in free bets regardless of outcome. So fun. If you're betting baseball at all, got to do it over at WynnBET. Some of the best prices, and of course, the ultimate fantasy football experience. Every $500 bet gives you a chance to win for you and your entire league. All right. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. LFG offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBET is available. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
So excited to be here. Feeling blessed.
Feeling blessed.
God bless America. What else do we have to say? We don't. Baseball dead to me.
Ryan
Golf,
is not
dead to me. Any other sport that isn't football,
Dog.
dead to me. A little bit of rugby sprinkled in there. But
there you go.
Unlike Sean, multiple personality, schizophrenic Sean, I am 100%. The Kramer gang is 100% NFL from this date forward, July 19th.
Well, Ryan, I have an insatiable thirst for action, and I always have room in my heart for the National Football League, NFL. What do we do? I guess we start by talking about how we hate dome football and how it's destroyed. Shout out to the database.
I mean, football is great. It's better than it's ever been. Unfortunately, we've lost the triple option along the way.
Somewhere along there.
We've lost the 50 carries in a single game. Pete Carroll will soon be retired and put into, what did they freeze Han Solo in? Carbonite?
Well, it was funny researching the Jags in particular. We're going to go worst to first.
Yeah.
So we'll be ending with the Rams there. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the Football Outsiders, got really mad at Urban Meyer because he said he hoped to have a balanced team, passing for 250 yards, running for 250 yards. And meanwhile, only 6 teams last year ran for 250 yards. Only in 6 games. That just shows you how out of touch Urban Meyer.
It's fair point.
First off, he's talking coach stuff out of his ass. It's hilarious how they like take that literally. That's when you knew Urban Meyer wasn't a good head coach. Not all the other disasters.
Well, and I figured we should probably remind people what some of those disasters were. It's relevant because I think it's hard to even look at this team without remembering. I mean, it's hard to refer. I honestly, so much has happened between then and now. I almost forgot about the strength coach situation, which in any normal year would have been a big deal. But in 2021, just the fucking river was high and the water was moving.
Yeah, the strength coach got fired from what was his job? His college job?
Iowa.
He got fired from Iowa, job in Iowa because the black players said he was being super racist and gets fired. And then Urban Meyer immediately hires him. Like, what are you thinking?
Well, here's the best part. He quote did all his own vetting. And he knows who the real Chris Doyle, that was his name. O'Doyle rules. He knew who the real Chris Doyle was. Then, and I totally forgot about this one, Sean. He said Trevor Lawrence isn't the starter.
Yeah.
Competition with Gardner Minshew.
That was pretty great.
Didn't even make the final roster. That's hilarious. Then everyone remembers although there's all this other stuff, but the trip, he didn't travel home with the team. Yep. Which at that point, I think the world was catching up with our position.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
I think the world
on the dance floor. Apparently,
the world was catching up. It was catching up with our position at that point. There's a problem here, and then there's reports about him talking shit to all his coaches, calling them all pussies and losers.
Yeah, like you didn't do anything right. It's like, wait, dude, you hired me. Very, very crazy.
Well, and then he kicked his kicker. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
He abused his kicker.
That one I almost sided with him. Yeah, you give the kicker a little kick.
That's
in the
fair.
butt.
You're right. They
are kickers.
He refused to play James Robinson. Remember that Trevor Lawrence had to beg because Carlos Hyde was on the team, and I didn't even mention Tim Tebow. This guy was
forgot about the Tebow thing. I think that was one of my favorite prop bets. I had to ask.
Oh, we made so much. Yeah,
I had to ask the sports book to because we did that futures draft, and I said if Tim Tebow doesn't make the team, the under 17.5 receiving yards for the season, that's action, right? Because normally if the guy doesn't play in the season, it's not action. They made an exception. They said this Tim Tebow bet is action regardless, and so under I think it was like 17.5 receiving yards. Lock that up.
And in fairness, I think this is the benefit of playing betting competitions with fantasy organizations. Maybe we got one over there, but yeah, I mean, all of that happened. Sean, I'm going to ask you a question. What week did Urban Meyer get fired? And maybe you have that written down already.
I know, but I would guess week 12,
15.
Wow, he made it pretty far.
That's what I said.
It felt like he was fired, and then and of course, highlight of the 2021 Jags season. Getting that sweet money line cash plus 700 against Carson Wentz. So shout out to you, Jacksonville.
Couple other nuggets.
Yep.
Not only did we both smash their under last year, which by the way hit because they only won 3 games.
What was their under?
Beep, boop, boop,
what did we calculate it at?
We picked it at 6.5.
Wow.
And I remember the entire world was like, I just feel like I have so much value sitting here betting on this Jags team. It's amazing how similar the rhetoric that we were hearing about the Jags last year is happening about the Lions this year, but that's for another show. 6.5. They of course went what, Sean? 3-14.
Yeah.
That's not very good. Sean, we both hit their unders. Like I said, I predicted 2-15, locked it up in the AFC South win total preview last year. You said 3-14, nailed it exactly. Also locked it up. We both gave them out to be 4th in the division at plus 400. Again, just maximum value extracting. And here's the last nugget. New feature to this year's team previews. Our ATS records when betting on or against this team, when picking their games, Sean, we were both 10-7 ATS picking Jags games this year or last year. So
well, what was it?
10-7 ATS
10-7.
picking
All
Jags
right.
games.
So we kind of know when to take the Jags.
We nailed them last year. So I think what we're trying to tell you is we understand this team. We're not going to get caught up in the ebbs and flows of the public narrative.
No.
And I think that's probably a good play. And I don't know what you planned on format wise here, Sean, but maybe a good place to start.
So 2020, they were what 1-15, skyrocketed up to 3-4 in 2021.
Yeah, I mean 3-14. Yeah.
Yeah. What did I say?
3-4.
Oh yeah,
They
3-14.
That's what Urban Meyer thought the record was. Do you remember that too? I didn't even say it, but Urban Meyer also forgot. He didn't know. He couldn't answer the question about snap counts or
well,
like
and
playing
then remember, like, who is
distribution.
it that he didn't know who some like big name players were?
Yeah, starters.
Crazy.
All
right. Give out the 2022 odds, Ryan, and then we'll talk off season changes, the whole thing.
All right. We didn't learn much, I guess. The win totals at 6.5, plus 110 on the over, minus 130 on the under. Division odds are at 7-1. Conference odds 50-1. Super Bowl 125-1, and the make miss playoff odds are at 370 to make, minus 500 to miss. I think probably the first place to start, because a lot of team would like to go through the offseason changes, but to me, like this team, the offseason narrative has been driven by the offseason coaching changes more than anything.
It's a combination of what is the upgrade of Doug Pederson over Urban Meyer, and they went out of their way to
is it quantifiable?
they went out of their way to sign a bunch of big name, high price, free agents. Christian Kirk from the Cardinals, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Laquan Treadmill, Darius Williams, cornerback for the Rams, and who else? The Brandon Sheriff should help them. Big guard. They also lost their center, Luke Fortner. Luke Fortner is the center they drafted. Who was their center they lost?
He's not good.
He's retired.
Yeah, but that's almost a addition by subtraction. He was pretty bad last year, if I'm not mistaken. But to that point, I wouldn't say there's anyone really that's they picked up some nice guys in the draft, but I don't think, and they signed a lot of. Actually, I have a spending nugget. Where's my spending nugget?
Yeah, Travon Walker, edge rusher, obviously took him number 1 overall. Devin Lloyd, linebacker. I like that pick. Luke Fortner, the guard center, round 3.
Only one lineman drafted, which tells you they're more confident than maybe most of the world.
We were I wouldn't say heated debate, but we were going back and forth. I think the biggest problem with this Jags team, looking at it, is I don't think they've upgraded their offensive line enough. Like, looking at these offensive line lists, whether it's your PFF, whatever it is, so very few very few outlets have them as a top 20 offensive line.
It's very true. Very few have them low, but I went and looked at it. PFF last year, they came up 12th in their pass blocking grade. They weren't very good in their run blocking grade. If you're a PFF guy, maybe you're not, maybe you're more of a DVOA Football Outsiders nerd, in which case top 10 in adjusted sack rate. And I think just outside the top 10 in adjusted line yards. So I would look at their offensive line. I don't think they were horrible because of their offensive line. And in fact, the reason that I was kind of building the case, like, hey, their offensive line wasn't horrible last year, because Trevor Lawrence was bad last year. He was horrible. And the crazy part is the metrics are the same, whether or not he faced pressure. And I think when you see a guy who struggled with clean pockets when he was given a clean pocket, and that's a problem. And so I guess the first big leap of faith you're taking, if you're believing that this is a team warranting a 6.5 win total, Sean, is Doug P really going to come in, whisper in Trevor Lawrence's ear and make him good? Because I think when we watched him last year, he did not pass the eye test.
No. I think there's a
repeatedly did not pass.
I think there's a decent chance Trevor Lawrence sucks. Like, beyond 25% chance Trevor Lawrence sucks.
Well, then everyone is buying. They're telling themselves they're going to sell themselves on the fact that Doug P is going to fix Trevor Lawrence.
Peyton Manning had 27 interceptions his first year. People ever keep going back to this, but there is something to the eye test. Like, how many wow plays did we see out of Trevor Lawrence? I saw more wow plays out of Justin Fields than I did Trevor Lawrence. Am I saying Justin Fields is definitely going to be a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence moving forward? No, I'm not going to go there, but I think I've kind of seen more flashes out of Justin Fields than Trevor Lawrence.
So here's the case for Lawrence taking a step forward. You have Doug P coming in. They did spend a lot. The spending nugget I had earlier. So the last 5 seasons, Sean, this is a good one. You're going to want to recycle this one for your own use. Every single offseason, the team who spent the most, they improved their wins by at least 3, by an average of 3. I'm sorry, by at least 3 and by an average of 5 wins. So even though the contracts that the Jags doled out might not be good, I would say it's fair to it would be stupid to think they're not going to improve. Now to buy into Doug P is going to totally fix Lawrence, who was bad even when he faced a clean pocket. Then you have to fall into the case. They played a tough schedule last year. They're part of the reason those defenses looked good, but they played a tough schedule last year, especially against the pass. They were in the top 10. Now this year they fall into the bottom 10. Not only that, Sean, they face 7 of the 10 worst passing defenses from last year. So and we're going to go through the schedule.
Yeah.
Could Trevor Lawrence work his way into some confidence because he has now Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Laviska Shenault, Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, and James Robinson. I think that like those are names that at a minimum you like the receivers. You like what some of those guys can do. Marvin Jones might be their 3rd best receiver now. Evan Ingram, who knows? If you believe the fantasy community, he's going to break out this year. I think Travis Etienne people are a little excited about. Liz Frank's a serious injury, and while he's had a lot of time off, like guys don't always just pop back from that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, my last note I have really, other than some unimportant shit, is like how many games are they really going to be favored in?
That's a great point.
6.5 on the win total, and we're about to go through the schedule. I count maybe 1 to 3 games they're favored.
I got an easy formula here, and I'll save it for the end because I think there's a way you take the under on the win total, and then there's a very easy future that covers you, even if they get only to 8 and 9. Couple of nuggets I wanted to get in before we start breaking down the schedule. Trevor Lawrence finished 29th in passing DVOA. Again, you can blame the coach on a lot of that, but you threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
But again,
in the National Football League. That's bad.
His numbers in a clean pocket were just as bad as when he didn't have a clean pocket. That is not a trend you want.
Red flag alert. Cam Robinson, starting tackle, guy they re-signed, and basically everyone's like, "Oh, I guess they're not drafting an offensive lineman." 32nd amongst left tackles in snaps per blown block. I don't even know what that means, but it's not good. Whatever. If
it means
if
he's blowing a block more often than any other left tackle.
Yeah, that's not that's not what you want. And their safeties, Wingard and Jenkins, were both liabilities and had tackling issues. Wingard tied for the NFL's 6th highest total of broken tackles, which is not what you want. You want that as a running back.
You don't want that on the
not
other side.
as a safety. Oh, other little nugget here. Jags didn't make a field goal until week 6. So maybe Urban Meyer had something. I mean, again, I might start kicking people if you have made a field goal until week 6. That's hard to do, especially if you're a bad team. All right, Ryan, let's get to it.
Just to tie it up, a lot of why people think they're going to bounce back is all about like the change in philosophy and the fact that their schedule goes from hard to easy. We didn't mention it yet. They only have 7 home games too, Sean. They only have 7 home games. Of course, the London Jags do have a game across the pond again. So yeah, should we? It really kills me that we can't do this in quarters.
What do you mean?
There's 17 games. Now, Sean.
Okay.
Remember, we can't do 4-4-4.
Right. Before we get to that, of course, our lead pipe lock when it comes to internet security, IP Vanish makes all your internet security disappear, or no, your internet worries about security disappear. Just fired off a sweet photo of us using IP Vanish over at God's Eye, aka our awesome TV setup. Again, it's very easy for streaming devices like a Fire Stick. We have an Android smart TV. Very easy to pop on IP Vanish there. Again, locks up your internet, safe, secure, the whole 9, and unlimited devices, doesn't slow you down at all, which is just pretty awesome. So again, ipvanish.com/SGP, 70% off the yearly fee there, 70% off ipvanish.com/SGP. All right, Kramer, walk us through the schedule.
All right, I would just at Washington, which thank you NFL for giving.
No, it's not at Washington. It's Washington at home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's at Washington.
Jags at Washington.
Oh, okay. I thought they were at home week 1.
No.
I don't like that as much, Ryan.
What do you mean you don't like that as much? Don't be ridiculous.
No, I love taking Florida teams. So like Jags at home against the Colts, I might have taken them to win outright, but now that it's week 2, it's not as hot. You know, I love a home dog in September in Florida, Ryan. The heat, humidity, it's too much.
All right. Anyway, back at Washington, the Commandos, which again, thank you to the NFL for letting us see Doug P versus Carson Wentz, and also the team that kicked Carson Wentz out of the playoffs last year versus Carson Wentz. At Washington, Colts at home, the team that they strangely seem to have the number of.
Yep. At
Los Angeles Chargers, at Philadelphia Eagles. Are you fucking kidding me?
1 win.
Which game are they winning? What the fuck are you talking about?
Ryan, you're the one who talked me into taking them against the Commanders.
That's right.
Week
we
1.
like them week 1. You're right. We like that one.
There's 3, and maybe I think between week 1 and week 2 they get 1 there, and then they don't win. You're not going to win on the road at Los Angeles, in Philly, in October.
The Doug P revenge spot. You're not worried about that at all.
Again, Doug P succeeds when the team has a good offensive line.
Okay.
And he has a quarterback that doesn't turn it over. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is either one of those things. I think there's real issues with those safeties. I mean, a guy like Justin Herbert gonna carve them up, and I don't think they're, they got Trevon Walker, but I still think the Eagles offensive line is gonna push them around.
Trayvon or Trevon?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm not great at pronouncing things.
No, I don't actually know here. And anyway, they're not favored in any of these games, though. Correct? We agree on that.
That is correct.
Okay. Next up, we have.
So I got them 1 and 3.
Houston at home.
Okay.
At the Colts. Wow, getting those Colts games out of the way early. Giants at home. Broncos at home. 3 home games, 1 road game.
I say 1 win. They're going to beat the Giants.
They'll be favored over the Texans.
I think we're higher on the Texans than the general public, but I think they're
going to be favored over the
Texans. They're probably favored, and Giants, I think they're favored.
Maybe it's close.
Russell Wilson on the road, and that one's actually in London, Ryan. Worth noting.
What did I say?
Well, you said at home, so technically
right.
it is the London Jags.
It's home for them, but 2 home games, 1 road game, and 1 game for some reason in England.
I'm going to say 1 win. They beat the Giants.
They do win in Jacksonville.
No, I know. I think they.
All right, I'll go 1 win as well. I just they might. You might be right though. They might be favored in 2 games here. All right, Oakland. I keep
thinking the win total is 6.5.
6.5. Formerly Oakland, currently Las Vegas. The Raiders at home, at Kansas City.
Wow.
Baltimore at home, at Detroit. Week 13.
I mean, if you said 0 here, I mean, Lions are the worst opponent, but still, that's even a non-conference road game. That's a tough spot. At Kansas City, not winning that. Raiders at home. I mean, I don't see it. Like Devontae Adams, I think is going to eat in that game. I think they're going to have trouble doing anything to Lamar. I got him going 0 wins here.
Whoa.
Do I give him a courtesy win?
I mean, I'm kind of to go through a stretch of your schedule where you're playing. Just the whole AFC West plus Baltimore. Yeah, maybe they get Detroit.
We got a Jags fan, Ryan. Your hashtag Duval must have awoke some Jags fans here. JJ Watson in the chat. First off, he starts with Duval.
Hell yeah.
Hey Kramer, Jaguars greater than Giants, pal. Giants will be lucky to get 3 wins with that roster. I agree with you here.
Why are we just randomly talking shit on the Giants right now?
No, they're catching strays. He's pointing out Jags receivers had the worst separation from coverage in the league. They have upgraded there. They also led the league, I think, in drop rate, so that should help them out.
They did. They were. They're horrible.
JJ Watson saying all October games besides the Eagles, the Jags will win. Texans, Colts, Giants, and Broncos, all terrible teams. Well, I
feel like you're kind of a homer when you say that.
I'm not as high, I think, on the public as the Colts, but Broncos are going to beat you. You guys said we're sleeping on the Jags. Where were we, Ryan? What was our?
We were sleeping on the Jags.
Yeah, I'm sound asleep on the Jags right now. I'll give him, because of the Duval passion displayed in this YouTube chat, I'm going to upgrade him to 1 win in that sector.
Okay.
So I got him going 3 wins so far.
And I wanted to re-look at the. So worth noting, I think Detroit might be coming off a bye that week too. Like it's brutal.
Yeah.
I kind of like your 0.
Yeah, I'll throw him a win though. Give if the fan base is this passionate, maybe they can carry him to an extra win.
0-4. I hate this. Last 5 at Tennessee. Interesting to think about what they'll be at that point. Dallas at New York Jets.
Dallas is 1 win for the season.
At Houston. This is I would say arguably the best 4 we've seen. That's right. We saved the last game for last. So this is the easiest quad of games. They're potentially.
Well, no, and throw in that last 5th game.
Well, no, I feel like we always did it. We do it at the end, Sean.
All right,
leave it. We got to tease.
All right.
Will we go win or loss? It won't matter in this case, but I mean, again, 3 road games, but it feels like one of their easier sections. Dare we have Dallas win a game? Does Dallas drop this one?
I'm not going to acknowledge it as a win for the Cowboys. I'll go.
Dallas coming to Jacksonville in December. They could be out of everything by then.
I'll go 2 wins for the Jags here. So I got them at 5 wins.
I'll go 1 and 3.
Okay. So what do you have them total at?
Well, we have one last game. I have them at 3 and 13. You have them 4 and 12. And their final game of the season is, Sean, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's a loss, even though it's at home. So I got them going Jacksonville Jaguars 5 and 12. Ryan, what do you got them?
3 and 14. Is that possible? Could they run back 3 and 14? It seems almost certainly they'll be better, right?
It does.
Should I go back and assign them an extra win somewhere? It's hard though. Where are they getting these wins? They only have 7 home games. Again, we went through the whole schedule. They're not favored in more than 3 games. No. How is their win total 6.5?
Ryan, we may be sleeping on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we're not sleeping on Sleeper Fantasy. That's right. Sleeper.com/SGP. Go there for a instant deposit bonus, 100% match up to $100. Go there on your mobile phone, sleeper.com/SGP. It's so fun for the MLB player props, 2x all the way up to 20x. Sleeper.com/SGP on your phone. You get in our chat. You can copy our picks. You can fade our picks. You can do whatever you want. 2x all the way up to 20x. Very fun to sweat these out on Sleeper. And you probably already have Sleeper for fantasy, but you got to play their new over/under game. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. 5 wins for me sounds about right for this Jags team, and I think it could be a noticeably better 5-win team. Maybe they get up to 6 wins. You know, I kind of teased early on, Ryan. Here's what I'm doing on the Jacksonville Jaguars. My 2 bets on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me
2 bets.
Yeah,
we can give out more than 1 bet.
Give me Jacksonville Jaguars under 6.5, and then give me Doug P, Coach of the Year at 16-1. Because here's the formula. Like we mentioned this all the way back when we were doing the early looks on the Coach of the Year handicapping. If you beat the previous win total by 5 to 6 games, that's really that sweet spot you need to do. And a lot of times it is a new head coach taking over because whatever, the team before was shitty. That's why you got the job as a head coach. You're taking over for someone who's horrible. So if the Jags somehow pull it off, Doug P is just sitting there for Coach of the Year.
But Sean,
he didn't win Coach of the Year in 2017.
We just spent the better part of the last 30 minutes talking about how this team isn't going to be good.
No, and that's why I think that's my hedge
Oh, no.
for them.
You mean your green up?
No, I
That's your
think
green up.
there's certainly a small percentage chance that Trevor Lawrence comes out, takes a massive step, that all these free agents click. Basically, what the guy in the YouTube chat saying, there is that range of outcomes, and I think
You've been swayed.
No, I think I like Doug P coach of the year because if he gets his team to 8 or 9 wins, he's winning coach of the year. I don't like them to win the division. I don't like them miss playoffs. Because make playoffs is plus 300. How do they make how do they make the playoffs and Doug Pederson isn't coach of the year? I don't see that. Trevor Lawrence MVP. No, thank you. The only bet that's interesting to me is Doug P coach of the year.
No, I don't mind.
And I can still be out on them because I'm sure I'll be fading them. If they're big dogs in certain situations, I might be looking to take them. Remember, what it came down to me was just the offensive line. I know you're higher on their offensive line, Ryan.
No, I think I don't know if I'm high on them this year. My framing of them being a decent offensive line was to say that I don't think Trevor, like people will use Urban Meyer to say the situation was so bad last year. Doug P is going to come in and he's going to, wipe the stink right off and it's going to be shiny new. I'm saying that Trevor Lawrence might have some broken to him. We even said this coming out of college. I'm going to recycle it, but part of the reason, if you want to go deep into the recruiting trails of Trevor Lawrence, part of the reason he went to Clemson is because he picked to go to a program that had an established culture, thanks to Deshaun Watson and Taj Boyd and some dudes who were there before. He didn't want to go and blaze his own path. And so I think you're seeing a guy who's now he's got to blaze his own path. And I get the case. I understand why 16-1 is better than 7-1. I get it.
Coach of the year is interesting to me because there's no way this team succeeds without Doug P getting a ton of credit. If Trevor Lawrence has an awesome year, who's going to say, "Oh, Doug P fixed him"? If their receivers are a massive upgrade, who's going to get the even if the defense plays better, no one's going to be like, "Oh, defensive coordinator of the year." It's just going to go to Doug P.
Jags have a winning record. It's only plus 310, even crazier here. So
again, if they get to 9 and 8, right, that's a 6-win jump. He's right in coach of the year there. So them to make the playoffs, them to have a winning record, the division, all that's bullshit compared to the price you get for Doug P to win perspective, coach of the year.
All you had to tell me was, "Hey, I'm just extracting some value here." All right, let's have some actual fun.
Plus EV opportunity.
I'm an alt god.
Oh yeah.
Under 5.5 plus 185. And I'll go to under 4.5 if you can find it.
Okay.
I haven't found. I couldn't find it anywhere. But getting around 2-1 for the under 5.5.
So I like that for this format, Ryan. We're figuring out the format as we go, but I think our lock is the play on the win total, and our dog is something future off the board, alt win total, whatever. But fun.
What will we talk about during the actual division previews?
Oh my God. You're going to, we will have plenty of more stuff to talk about. Holland Oates wants to know, how many weeks do you guys need to watch before you know the under 6.5 is in the bag? I think the first 4 weeks. I think we get out of September, we'll have a pretty good idea if this team can get up to 7 wins.
Well, I think just like by how their schedule is laid out. Look, when they go to London, if they don't have 3 wins after London, they're not getting there. That's my prediction. So if they don't start fast, then I think it's going to be tough for them to start fast, because after that London game, they have the Raiders, the Chiefs, a bye, the Ravens, the Lions, the Titans, the Cowboys. It's tough. It's tough, especially when you're a Texans guy.
And then think about it. I mean, if the Jags really are cruising and they're close to getting that over 6.5, we can hedge by probably taking some Jags money line. I don't know. Maybe they'll have just taken over the league by storm and be dominating, and so they won't be dogs. But I have a feeling come late in the year, we will be. We'll be happy that we were under 6.5.
Yeah, I think so. And there are player props as well. I don't know if that's something you're kind of interested in. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of the yes only type plot props. So, maybe that's what we wait and talk about in the divisional previews.
Not worried about it, Ryan.
No,
not worried at all.
Calmer than you are.
So under 6.5. I'm on the under. Kramer also on the under 6.5. I also have Doug P, coach of the year. Lock it up 16-1.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence is one of those quarterbacks who is leashless, and maybe you want to look at it in the most interceptions market?
All right, bring that up. What do you got? For
He's
most
the second
interceptions?
favorite. It's Zach Wilson 8-1, Trevor Lawrence 10-1, Justin Fields 10-1.
How are there no
Mills,
rookies in there? I guess because none of the rookies are projected to have a ton of playing
volume.
time. Yeah. I mean,
it feels like this list, like there are not many guys who have the long enough leash to just keep slinging.
It's
picks.
probably Trevor and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Geno Smith, dark horse at 25-1.
But Drew Lock is just nipping at his heels, right?
Well, they're both going to throw a bunch. He's also 25.
Yeah, I don't see.
Maybe you take both of them.
I don't see either of those guys starting all 17 games though.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, probably the only guys that are going to start 17 games that are in the mix for most interceptions. JJ Watts, I love this JJ character in the YouTube, Ryan. We found a passionate friend. Jags fan.
Love it.
Hopefully he heads over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Get in our Discord. We're going to be doing some live Q&A. All your favorite SGPN hosts are in there. It is, again, if you're intimidated, you're like, I don't know, Discord, it's too crazy. Trust me, I'm a boomer. I hopped into Discord. It's awesome.
True boomer here. Can I give you one more fun Jags wrinkle? What if I told you Jags to have the fewest wins in the regular season is 11-1? Sixth favorite.
Wow, really? Who are the other teams ahead of them?
Texans, Falcons, Seahawks, Jets, Bears.
Yeah, 11-1. I don't mind that, but I'll just keep it. Doug P, coach of the year. Jags under 6.5.
Yeah. So I'm giving you two totals then. Going under on the win total. Let's go alt under 5.5. Like I said, what would 4.5? What would you have to get odds wise to bet that?
4.5?
Yeah.
Probably like 3-1.
You can get, so 185 on, I'd probably take the 5.5. Seems safer. They're 5 wins maybe feels like their ceiling. They're going to buck the spending trend. I guarantee that. That the number one spending team each offseason has increased their wins by an average of 5 and at least 3 wins each year.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 is probably that sweet spot. That's how you get to 6-11, right?
I just think they just because they spent a lot of money,
but it was kind of scattershot. You know,
well,
what
it's
I mean?
also like, hey, I just spent $1 million on like 50 Honda Civics. Like that's not exciting, you know?
No.
Calling Christian Kirk a Honda Civic.
Sounds like a fun Photoshop. All right, guys, 31 down, 31 more to go.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Plenty of chances to I'm rocking the sweet SGP America shirt. Plenty of Kramer's got the SGP hoodie on. Got a coffee mug. Plenty of opportunities to get gear over store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Or if you don't like paying for things, you can submit your screenshot of Apple Podcast review. Open up the app, click contest, submit the screenshot for your chance to win free gear every Monday, aka Merch Monday.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he's Ryan.
Duval.
Kramer. Let it ride.